the admonition on the way, on the scale of Professor Nasser for giving us this advice as he usually does. So I will just go on to make the presentation of the speech that I have prepared for today, which I would like to share. Mr. Gold, please, can you permit me to share the presentation? Okay, thank you very much. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay. So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Please kindly confirm that you can see my screen.
We can.
Okay, so Alhamdulillah. This is the Dome Capital Resources Investment Limited event.
But do you mind Zoom it?
Okay. Okay. Is this okay? Assalamu alaikum. Is this okay?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better.
It's better, sir.
Okay. So this is a Dome Capital Resources organized to mark the 2026 annual general meeting of our company, which is held today, June 14, 2026. This is the chairman's opening remark at the annual public lecture. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Lecture as part of activities marking the 2026 AGM of our company. This public lecture, which is an annual event, is designed to enhance the understanding of the Islamic perspective of our members and the general public on building and managing this year's institution. Please just permit me, let me just do something formally. There. Okay. Okay. Now, so this public lecture is designed to enhance the understanding of the Islamic perspective of, as well as the general public, on how to build and manage business institutions. This year's public lectures is titled Faith and Finances, Navigating Riba and Economic Hardship for Barakah, and so the twin challenges of riba as well as economic hardship, so that we eventually end with barakah and akhirah, both not compromise. The speaker, Dr. Shakiruddin Taiwo, holds a PhD degree from the University of Johannesburg. He's an economist, a research analyst, macroeconomic strategist. He's formerly the lead of research and policy analysis team at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. He is currently a postdoctoral research fellow at the College of Business and Economics of the University of Johannesburg, South Africa. He recently represented the chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group as a keynote speaker at the Muslim Economic Summit 1.0. I'll now talk a little bit about Dome Capital Resources Investment Limited. 5 of our embarked on a mission to rally others to create a business in 2003. That's 23 years ago. The business was to create halal wealth by bringing Muslim professionals together. We were motivated by the work of the Muslim Parliament, Muslim Institute in. The plan then was to invest in companies quoted in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We chose the private limited liability company model of a company that is registered in Nigeria, Investment 1971 Limited, which is a company who Chief Ernest Shunekon, Dr. Abdulateef Adegbite of blessed memory, the former Amir of MSS and then Secretary General of the Islamic Council, Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, and Chief MKO Abiola, I think June 12th, about 2 days ago, of blessed memory, a member of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs at one point too. How did we raise the capital that we got? It's instructive for us to note that there's a public there, item 4, which you can read to find out about Investment 1971 Limited, the Muslim Institute. So at inception, our company consisted of 50 members, each of us having contributed 250,000 naira to attain a total authorized share capital of 12.5 million naira. Member subscription was contributed in 25 monthly installments of 10,000 naira only from January 2003 to January 2005. What did we do with the fund? Our investment horizon then was long time in perspective, and it still remains so. We, however, also explore medium-term gains. Our current investments are in common stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, mutual fund with Lotus Capital Limited, and landed properties. We also provide short-term funds for financing other businesses. What did we achieve during this period? We have endured as a profitable company for 2 decades, and our members have successfully inspired the establishment of similar institutions in different parts of the country. Most importantly, we have preserved our dignity as Muslims, and we have learned a lot of invaluable lessons. I would like to share with us some of the things that this institution has inspired. And sincerely, some of those institutions are even bigger than ours, and we're very proud of that. Our members that have lived in different parts of this country have inspired the establishment of institutions in different places. I can mention Asabi Kun in Jos. I can mention Firdaus Specialist Hospital Limited and Cooperative Society in Katsina. I can mention a group in Kebbi, wherein members were contributing 250,000 per month. And one was until recently, I think, a minister in the health sector, in the educational sector. Not to talk about the inspiration that has given to establishment of non-interest cooperative society, many institutions, including the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital in Katsina, and virtually Iman in its entirety all over Nigeria. I mean, wherever our members have gone. Okay, I think I forgot to mention that that's one in Kano. Fitra Diagnostic, in which one of our member, Professor Tabar, involved. You understand? So, I mean, it's a lot. Not to talk about the ultimate effect of inspiring people and they also starting something different than what we have done. It is something we are very proud of. It raised to preserve the dignity of Muslims, and all of us have learned the way as members of our company. What is our vision as a company for the future? The company's vision 2026 to 2035 framework that transforming our company into a healthcare investment company with a share capital of 100 million. Have you thought about bringing together your friends? He said he needed 500,000, and each one of you contribute 10,000, and you have the 500,000 naira that you use to start this business. Many times we just think that something is impossible for us. Why? Because we are not ready to work for others. Everybody wants to be the chief executive officer and everything. rather than thinking, how can we work together? You understand, to achieve more. So, and he said, wow, he never thought about that. And that is something that is possible within his destiny. I will be guilty of, uh, I'll be found guilty if I don't mention at this point one institution that has been inspired by this effort at Dome, which has affected positively the life of the Muslim community within Ilorin as well as its environment. Any one of us that has anyone that is unwell, we know where to send this person. There are institutions even outside of Ilorin that are using that institution as an institution, their preferred choice for their benevolent act. And that is an institution known as Crescent Gold Crown Hospital, which is an institution that was equally inspired by the establishment of Dome Capital Resources Investment Limited. There are so many institutions that I cannot mention, but I can say without the fear of contradiction that what this institution has inspired, that we know that our members are directly involved in, cannot be less than R1 billion in terms of what it has inspired. If this meeting helps to make our young people and old people to decide to work together to mobilize fund, we will be very proud that we have achieved our aim. And if in particular our focus is as enunciated earlier. So it is our wish that anyone attending this lecture will be inspired to create institutions that will stand for Islam, live for Islam, and abide by Islamic principles. Once again, I welcome you all to this public lecture and thank you sincerely for honoring our invitation. Special thanks to Dr. Shakiruddin Taiwo for honoring our invitation. I will want to specially appreciate the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin that is present here virtually. Allah knows what he has done behind the scene to ensure that our institution is reactivated. Allah, I pray, will reward abundantly, as well as every of our members that have made this possible. May Allah bless this effort, accept it as ibadah, and grant every one of you and your entire family the best of this world as well as the hereafter. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, sir, for that opening remarks by the President. Mr. Go, can you please share the citation for the guest speaker? So we're moving into the annual general meeting lecture, and I have the honor and the privilege to read the citation of the guest speaker. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We praise Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the owner of all wealth, the provider of sustenance, and the one who grants barakah to whom he wills. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on his family, his companions, and all those who follow his guidance until the day of judgment. Amen. Respected audience, distinguished guests, honored members of Dome Investment Club, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
On this blessed occasion of our annual general meeting, with the annual lecture themed Faith and Finances, Navigating Riba and Economic Hardship for Barakah and Akhirah, we gather not only to discuss money, markets, and material hardship that a lot of people are facing in globally now, but also to reflect on wealth as an amana, earning as an act of worship, and financial choices as matters that carry consequences both in this world and in the hereafter. And this has been talked about by both the Professor Nasi, who gave us an opening prayer, and also by the chairman of Dome. So it is with gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with great honor that we present the citation of our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Taiwo Shakiruddin Babatunde, an accomplished economist, a researcher, a policy analyst, and developmental professional, whose scholarly journey and professional contributions reflect diligence, intellectual depth, and a commitment to knowledge that benefits the entire society. Currently, he serves as a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Johannesburg under the Global Excellence and Stature 4.0 for Societal Impact Initiative. Over the years, he has built a strong professional profile through notable roles with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Genesis Analytics, Timeline Consult Limited, and Value Frontera Limited, where he has contributed to high-level research, economic modeling, policy analysis, strategy development, and project implementation relevant to households, businesses, investments, and even national development. As a research and policy expert, Dr. Babatunde has led and contributed to major projects on macroeconomic outlooks, human capital development, impact investing, youth employment, private sector development, and economic transformation. His technical expertise spans panel data analysis, special econometrics, experimental research design, machine learning algorithms, among others. His extremely rich background in economics, impact investing, and non-interest financial strategy makes him especially suited to address our theme for this year's AGM. At a time when a lot of individuals and families are seeking ethical pathways through inflation, rising costs, financial uncertainty, and the pressure of interest-based systems, Dr. Babatunde brings both technical insight and practical relevance to this conversation that we're going to be having today on faith-conscious financial decision-making, baraka, and preparation for the akhirah. Beyond his professional practice, he has made meaningful contributions to academic literature and has several publications in respected outlets. Dr. Babatunde is widely distinguished by his commitment to research excellence, passion for policy relevance, and his dedication to using economics as a tool for development and societal impact. His work continues to bridge academic research, public policy, private sector strategy, investment thinking, and development practice across Nigeria, South Africa, and the broader African continent. My dear brothers and sisters, on the strength of these outstanding achievements and contributions, and with confidence in the value he brings to this important conversation on faith, finance, riba, hardship, baraka, and akhirah, it is our privilege.
From our more like elevated hope of recovery to our post-COVID level, back to something worse than heat, with the Iran-US conflict after February 28. So these actually set more like a context for the global disturbance that we have at the moment and shift in the social economic space. As a result of that, having topics like this where people with either mega income or as savings or expectation of future inflow of income would probably want to actually optimize their earnings or few things with them. And because we are Muslims, we are conscious of the fact that what we earn and eat must be pure. And our fathers here on this platform, I think I'm the youngest here, has taught us that in Allah, the Allah that we would worship, it only accept what is pure. La yakbar ila tayyiba, is not going to take from any one of you except that which is pure is good. So as a result of that, it then comes to play. And I know Dome as an organization will have received a lot of requests either for funding, either for assistance, as a lot with some of my senior colleagues in the industry that will speak with that as some non-interest of their income has to be dedicated to charity, to Sodako. So they get this request a couple of times that could you support us with this, even to what some people call in the conventional word black tax. And I know we'll have heard about it. Black tax is when you have people they to yourself, the capitalist ideology that is due to yourself and your family alone. But Muslims won't call it black tax. You understand it? It's Sodako. So I understand this topic is very instructive. So it is faith and finances, navigating riba and economic hardship. So it's very important. So my go through today, just helps to map up the journey, would be simply around 4 dimensions. So the first part will look at the compass itself, the spiritual foundation, as we could do. What are boundaries of investment we could put our money in? Are this boundary even valid at the moment? I know a lot of my fathers here will have read a lot of Siro, especially very instructive one was what happened between Abu Bakr and one of his servants. And he told Abu Bakr, this is a loan repayment from my previous job, that is haram. And we all know what actually ensued after that. Abu Bakr got that information, actually put his hand into his throat and actually gushed out from that food that he was given. Not that the food was bad, but the source of the food itself made it to be contaminated, if I could use that word. Then the second is to look at the storm, the macro reality that we have in Nigeria. Diagnostic of the Nigerian economy, so that I won't be speaking at an elevated level of not really contextualizing the current socio-economic condition of the country. And because this is more like the basic context that we need, why do we need to invest? Why do we need to stop non-interest banks that we have? 5 at the moment, the Alternative Bank, the Jaiz Bank, the Taj Bank. Why we still need to do something better, more optimizing in terms of allocating that resources that comes. Then the next one is to actually understand the investing landscape ecosystem that we have in those arenas that we could put our funds in. The real economy, and I think our chairman has actually told us about what they do with respect to real economic investment in real estate, in among other activities. The financial market space as well, it's also very important. Maybe speaking to him this morning, I said a couple of months ago, I think I am novice to some certain things, but maybe working makes us to then understand. So I would then share some of my newly acquired perspective as well. And then the next is, what is our action plan? Because it is important that we don't only talk, we don't only identify, oh, this opportunity exists somewhere. As a Muslim, we have 3 basic principles Prophet has told us in this popular tradition. When you see something that is bad, you have 3 ways of actually ameliorating that condition or addressing it. So is when you see opportunities, that similar ways actually, you walk towards it, you speak about it, those opportunities, and I think that's what Dome is doing today. And I think the last one is the less ineffective method out of it. Is the less ineffective one out of it, to use your mind. Because you are keeping opportunities away from your brothers. So my slide, aside from this, is now 21 or 2 slides, and I hope I could run through it, why also give some context. So the starting point is, what is riba? It's as simple as anything. Riba is when you take above or below that Islamic economics of finance that is not actually stated clearly. So for some countries like China, because of their deflation, which is their own price level is lower than 0, so sometimes they have interest rates, their own anchor rates at negative, that is 1,000 naira. You might pay less than 1,000 naira. So it is more like here. So it is the 2. You lend somebody money, you are taking above what you are earning, or you are taking below. And I know this is going to then bring about a question in the minds of a lot of people here, that we borrow money and they add their cost of, they call it administrative fee, which is a share or a ratio of the facility we have taken, or they tell us cost of funds at a level, and when we check this cost of funds to even the commercial bank, it is maybe 2 percentage. I didn't say percent. Percentage point is when we say 15% minus 13%, you say the answer is 2%. So like the change, the percentage points. That is what we have. So what are you now saying Islamic bank is less cheaper? They are charging us cost of fund. The commercial banks. We have this in the minds of the public. So you have to do that. I would actually go that and explain some of other tools that we could use as well. That maybe it is because of the facility and the way we want to structure it, made the banks to actually charge you cost on their fund. The cost of taking that same fund and put it in other activities themselves. What did I mean? If you are giving 1 million naira by Jaiz Bank, and if Jaiz Bank take for you to invest and you make profit, so they are not taking out, they are taking out on your profit. So the negotiation is not off the principal, but the negotiation you have given them that shows them you are going to make this X naira. They then do their calculation on that profit you have said, then come back to be a share of your principal. So I know when we go to bank, our relationship manager explains to us very well. So what it means is when there is any guarantee or a predetermined loan, that is what we call riba. And it can be decreased as well, just like I've explained. But in most cases that we have now, is increase that we have. And the riba comes in 2 categories. It can be interest on the, if I'm not, I don't want to quote the wrong gear, but Jaiz at some point in time did, and why they created their own Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation that they have. And most of those things are interest earned on deposit that they have with the CBN. You know, when you drop, whether it's your cash reserve ratio, whether it's your deposit, the SDF that you have with the CBN on a daily basis, take out some deposit from the commercial bank. And at the moment it's 22%. CBN pays the commercial bank 22% on a daily basis. So you might want to know why sometimes banks are not willing to give you loan. It's because it accrues more aside from the money market instrument. So that's there. So it can be on your deferred payment, on delayed payment, and there's penalty for you delaying payment. So when I think Jaiz Bank earned that much, it was big, and they can't put it into their operation because it's riba. They have to charge it because the regulatory charge that. So what they now have to do is to then put it in their Zakat and Sadaqah, so that that money goes to the public as Islam has expected. Or next one is the unequal exchange of things, which I've said, unequal exchange. If you give me 1 dirham of rice as a loan, you have to take back your 1 dirham of rice. Agree to a value of it, and I have to explain this clearly. You give me a dirham of rice as a loan. Maybe I'm hungry and I say, please, can you give me a dirham of loan? What I need to return to you is a dirham back. If we agree to monetize it, so say a dirham today is 150 naira. You are returning in a dirham has turned to 200 naira. You are not going to give me 150 naira. Because if you give me 150 naira, the bar has happened there, you have shortchanged me. So what you give me is either you give me 200 and makes me to buy the equivalent back, or you give me the quantity. And I have to explain this as well. So it happens good for Islamic finance allows you to then monetize it. Maybe money is easier for you. You borrow somebody a cow today, you value the cow. It's either you return the cow of that size of that kilo, or you give me money that will buy me the cow of that kilo. So it's like that. And we all know in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah made it about the ayah of transactions. And I think for scholars of Islamic exegesis, they said these are one of the last verses that Allah revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Allah told us clearly that for you to trade, bayya is Allah. Riba is not for us as Muslims. And I know this context is why this topic is brought in today. So what is now the anatomy of the two systems, the riba economy and what we have now. I have explained this with the analogy I gave. It is the risk distribution. In the halal economy, the provider of the money and the borrower in this case. But for our conventional economy, all the risk goes to you. What they want is they have told you. So even if your businesses made a loss, you are going to pay back their principal and pay back the interest on it. But there's a risk sharing contract. Which one will get there? Contract that we are seeking with the lender with respect to non-interest bank at the moment. So when I say non-interest bank, I mean the Islamic bank, because in Nigerian law they are recognized as non-interest bank. Then the next is circulation of wealth between trade and commerce is guaranteed. For our conventional banks, you use money to get money, and it is based on the Mercantilism principle. It's merchant principle that creates no value. Profit is intrinsic, and that is what they charge. And I've explained that later. That when you take a charging on the principal, you are charging on your profit that your business plan has told them you are going to, but they make it a share of the principal, which is what you'll be able to understand. Then they encourage partnership. I know if you have visited all these financial institutions that are Islamic based, you have visited them. When you tell them your business, to give you that facility, but it's how can we partner? Because they understand the first risk distribution, that it has to be shared, and it is on that a lot of profits or a lot of even forbearances that they were given by the law actually occur as well. Then it's not critical for us to then understand where our faith meets the current economic hardship. So I did this for us to understand a typical Nigerian household is affected by inflation. We all know inflation was 15.68 in April. By our estimation, or by my mode, to be a little bit higher. Year on year means when you compare prices that have changed now to last year, and which is the value I've quoted at 15.68%, but we are expecting it to be around above 16% in May. We are now in June. In the next 3 to 4 days, the National Bureau of Statistics will be around 16.2% from the 15.68 that it did in April. So what that is very important. The next one is the Naira pressure. We all know what the exchange rate did to us. We all know the current government actually moved from the control or managed floats to a market willing that allows Naira to move within a band. So as a result of that, Naira depreciated to the value it should be, and it has stayed at that value. And I think between January and now, Naira had appreciated around 2% against the USD. And that is why you could see some relative. Compare it to what you are earning. That shock is not going away. According to economic theory, an economic shock takes around 5 to 10%, 5 to 10 years before it goes away. So it means the removal of fuel subsidy that was done by the current administration, the exchange rate by, you'll be seeing the impact till like 5 to 10 years. So that's what happened to fuel price. That's why Dangote could not drop the price of fuel, because of some dynamics as well. We have job scarcity as well. I will explain it. The unemployment by official figure is said to be 4.5%, but underemployment over 90%. So it means people are working in sectors that is not paying them as much. I have to move fast, sorry. Then the costly credit. Every credit is matched around 26.5%. If anybody gets any cost of credit above 26.5%, maybe that money is not coming from the numbers which I've explained. Previously, by February, January, our inflation in February was 15.26. That is this inflation. But by the war, it went up back. I know somebody will be asking, but we are a net oil exporting country. I use the language. We are not country. at the moment. We are net, because if you check even our foreign merchandise trade statistics of Q1 2026, Nigeria imported about 2 trillion naira worth of crude oil. Yes. So, and those crude oil that were imported will be valued at international prices. Putting is still up. So this is what we have. Our reality also says, though our GDP is growing, but we are not seeing the impact. I've explained why. The driver of that core thing is when you have exchange rate being high, so it's going to have an impact point. Though as at this morning, our external reserve is the highest we have done in history. No, on records. Let me put that on records. 50. Even we didn't have this big exchange rate, so which means Nigeria is able to defend naira, Nigeria is able to export, and Nigeria is able to import without affecting prices. But this is, I know some of us will buy gas. Gas is now over 2,100 for a kg at the moment, when you compare it to 1,005 that it was in January. So it means people are paying extra 500 naira to get a kg, and that 500 naira is eating up on people's income. You know, fuel and kerosene, AGO bother us with this. IMF said over 65% of Nigeria lives in poverty. But aside from this, that scenario I've created is to then shift us gracefully to we seeking more income. But as Muslims, we know our anchor. Konoha is very important. But Konoha does not make us know. It is that we are going to turn that our gratitude to abundance, and I think that's why it is here. Trade is permitted and encouraged. Exploitation of need is not. So we can't hoard. Surviving the squeeze require, just reject that notion of the honest. So what I'm then trying to create this picture, I will rush to do, is to say there are opportunities that people are showing us. I know there's a statement of one of my former bosses before. He will come and say, hey, Shakiru, come and do this thing. I will say, I can't do it. It's interest based. He will not mention somebody and say, see, you and that guy, business investment. And I'm serious, that investment, because he actually showed me his balance sheet, and it is tempting. If somebody could have 200 million, and in 3 years they have turned to 2 billion. He didn't do corruption. He invested in Nigerian financial market. But some of these things are interest. I will not tell him no. But if he point me to the one that doesn't, I will do. Say you and this person. So it's not very important that we know that. So the economics of the baraka is very short. It is halal income which all of us earn, but we don't have to do halal dealing, which Dome Cooperative Company Limited is also doing for us. We don't have to be content. Then, if we do this and invest in where I'm going to at the moment, we are going to have sustained but low profit. And I have to say this, sustained but low profit. I know if we do that, we are going to do Sodako too. So that is the economics of baraka. And that's the economics of baraka. I've read the economics of Abrahamot Bunhaf. That is the economic of Abrahamot Bunhaf in Modino. He sells on low margin, then the turnover gives him more. And that's why he became rich in short while. The ecosystem that we have in Nigeria is what I've divided here. Where we could place our money, either as an individual group, which I would encourage. I encourage more Jomo-based action than individual. So the first is the real economy, which I will get there. So that's the foundation. Islamic principle or economics is based on the physiocrat economics ideology. Our precede that. I'm just saying they stole from the Islamic before all of them. Ibn Khaldun came before all of them. So it is on the physiocrat knowledge. And physiocrats say any activity has to create value. And that is why you will see Islamic finance will encourage agriculture to be first. And that's what the physiocrat encourages. They discourage trade in it. Trade does not create value. Trade only creates money leaving one hand to another person. They said that's what trade creates. But for the physiocrat, it creates money. Then is the financial market. I know this is the gray area. I know some of our Islamic scholars have an umbrella fatwa on it. It is full of shubhat. It's full of speculative. It's full of, and we have seen people work very well to then distill those that are clear from those that are shubhat, which we are going to speak on this one. Real estate is more like key. The mortgage system. When you get to South Africa, the high school, and you would see a lot of movement well in this real estate market, ensuring that there's value creation. So let me then go. The landscape of halal in Nigeria as at 2025 is 4 billion USD. So that's around over 2% of Nigerians' GDP. FDN solving sukuk that has been done has been oversubscribed. The last one was 735% oversubscription. People believed in it, and it is what it is. So we have the 4 components of that investment landscape: capital market. That they started investing in the capital market. The non-interest bank sometimes have commercial papers they start at the moment. There are some digital finance that is out there, but I say we should be careful. But there are cooperatives like Doom that will encourage us to then do. So let's start with the capital market. There's opportunities in that space. One is on the NGX, Nigerian Exchange, NGX, Nigerian Exchange. There is an index that is called NGX Lotus Halal Index. And you know when they say halal. So what this in, and it will keep doing, is it screens stocks on the exchange and see those whose activities are in line 100% with Sharia compliance. I will give you that. But let's look at the performance of this stock in this index. Yet I did 2, 1 for Q1, and because we have not done with Q2, so you can't say Q2. Between January 1 or January 2 that the markets open and March 31st, the NGX of Nigeria grew by 26.6%. But those stocks that Islamic compliant, they grew by 50.1%. When you compare January 2 to June 11, you know June 12 is holiday, NGX grew 55.9%. Those stocks that are Islamic based, that you can put your money and go and sleep, you don't worry about to give you. ICE committee is committee of experts that every Islamic institution has. They grew by 99.8%. I'm still coming. When you compare the performance a year ago, from a year ago till that January 11 till January 11 2026, so our NGX grew over 100%, 112%. Those stocks that are screened under the Lotus Halal Index, they grew over 200%. That tells you there are opportunities, and these are halal. And I'm actually giving. What is the distribution of this sector that in this halal? You could see them: the industrial goods, oil and gas, telecommunications, consumer goods. Industrial goods and consumer goods, they are different. FMCG, and we'll see Dangote is industrial good, Bua Food is FMCG. We have Okumu here, I'll give us the numbers. We have aviation, we have NACO, we have banking, which is only Jais. But it's important that then show what they have done yet till date. And if you had put your money in this stock as at January 1, and what you will have earned today, which you don't need to do anything, and the stock movement of the company, so it is not on speculation. Performance of the company, their strong fundamentals, their projection in terms of revenue, they could hear the demand for their products. So these 12 products are the one that we have on the NGX Lotus Halal Index. This is how they have moved on January 1, which will be January 2. Getting the price at December 31st, these are what they have done. So using CAP as an example, of course, I also invested in CAP. I have to tell you this. So about 3 weeks ago, I was discussing with a brother and said, CAP. And what CAP does is they do chemical Aram. Sorry, they are halal. Sorry. And he told me, okay, I bought the stock at 89. I told him I bought at 200. It means the stock has been, because people are now taking profits. People are selling to them, move money, which is why you don't just go to them invest on the stock exchange. You need an advisor. So that's that you go in alone. Or else, if you have a younger brother, you have siblings, you have in-laws, or you have friends or mentor or mentees that are in this market that could they tell you, okay, buy these shares now, it's going to do this, or based off of what he's doing for his own employer or his firm. But I will not tell you to go directly, but this is what they have done. It means if you had put you had put 1 million naira there, your value today will have been 1.5 million. You have earned a 500 naira based on performance of MTN. That's what I've seen. Boa Food has done 18%. So this is what they have done. And these are all halal earning. If you have done CAP did 200% as I may on fundamentals. All these have been screened, their books have been screened, their activities have been screened to be Sharia compliant. So the next is the Sukuk. We all know this, so I don't need to bother us, but look at it from the 2017 that Osun State started it to over 1.2 trillion. And you can trade on it. It's on FMDQ. You can trade on this. And maybe constantly, if you need a report on Islamic finance markets, the broad, you can always check on a monthly basis for Auto Islamic Finance Markets Index report. So it is published, I think, the 3rd day of every new week, and I've been monitoring the report. So it tells you how the stocks have been performing. Each of those markets have been performing as well. And we also then see, for you to then see how available opportunities in that space is better than what the conventional ones will have offered you, that is Aram or not Sharia compliant. So the commercial sukuk, that's what is offering. And for every, and I know I told you that's why they are giving some leverage in terms of tax relief for your investment in Islamic or Sharia compliant sukuk. They are not paying withholding tax on it. No, you are not paying. But if you do commercial paper, it means if your conventional commercial papers gives you 1 million naira, you are only taking 900 naira. I've not talked about the commissions that your financial firm will charge from you. Sometimes are 2%. By the time you do that, but if you do like FGN, they even pay directly to your account, not anybody. Are getting that value they are promised. And the house structure, Ijaro, Mundaraba. So the federal family housing, the family housing project is actually the two only corporate sukuk, commercial sukuk that is on FMDQ at the moment. So you can also place your by far higher, their own return, their net yield is by far higher than what the conventional bank will give you at the moment. So it means that our 5,000 naira, if you can even do that stock, you can buy stock with 1,000 naira, can do a lot for us, but depends on the volume. Then what are the real estate alternative bank doing this? I have to bring this up so that you don't say, oh, there are scarcity of this. No, there are no scarcity of this product. Information about them is what we need. And I think DOM will be very instructive to provide them in a more corporate way like this, where you have access to the needed information. What are those tools? This is where I think I need to Mudaraba. If you go and say it's Mudaraba, you share in my profit. They won't only share in your profit, they share in your loss as well. And I need to bring this up for those of us that we are entrepreneurs and we are approaching non-interest financial institutions for loan or for facilities. Contract, Islamic finance contract, are we approaching them with? Is it Mudaraba? Is it Musharaka? Is it Murabaha? Is it Ijaro? Is it called Asan? We have to be sure. And even if you do Takaful with the Takaful, our Islamic now strongly, which also tell us to do. There is nobody here that is driving car, that has houses, that has businesses, that shouldn't have a takaful. No, I'm not sure. And the reason why Islamic own is very, very good is that if in a year you are not having anything, they pay you back your money. You know, they put it on loss and profit basis. So this is very, very important. Very, very important. So we need to have this sort of toolkits in where when you are approaching me, are you approaching me as Mudaraba? And this then determines the cost that the Islamic finance institute cost on this. This is the implication, which I've explained earlier, that some of us have this sort of misconception on. But I then need to say, we need to say over concentration is not, is not good. You can't concentrate on one. This is where my advice comes in. You can't only do stock. Stock is one of the best performing in Africa. It's driven by fundamentals. We have strong macroeconomic environment now. Our growth is stable. Exchange rate is stable, relatively stable within a band that they could calculate is -1 + 1%. That's where you could move. So companies could calculate. Foreign capital. A lot of people are not stressed. Exchange rate is not moving today from 1,002 to 1,010 to 1,005 back to 1,003. That volatility, so it's not there again. Our economy is stable. You are sure of clarity in terms of policy, but yet you don't. What am I saying? We then need to move from action, knowledge to action. I'm not sure if anything I have said earlier makes any sense, but if it does, it means we then have to do action. We have to build buffers, even at individual level. I tell people, even at corporate level as well, as them as an organization, you have to build buffers. Even as an individual, I tell people as an individual, worst case, 20% of your income, your salary is buffer, money you will not touch. And somebody asked me, even if I'm earning little, I said, yes, even if you are earning little, even if you are earning as 50,000 naira, 10,000 naira out of your money have to be somewhere. Operative like June, you have to have it. And I'm serious. If you have not done it, we need to do it. Sorry, 10,000 naira is 20% of 50,000 is 5,000. I would have said rather. You have to keep 5,000 on a monthly basis, even if your salary is you have to build it up, and this is what we have to do. We have to do it. The next one is diversify over time. Can diversify over time. Next, which is for companies like Dome, they need an advisory board. Eyes and this group, they are Islamic scholars. I'm only the student here. And we have report transparency as well to your members so that members could then commit more funds to it. However, and I need to do this balancing, it's very important. If you do any Islamic real estate, any Islamic economic investment, you are creating value. And this is the way it's done in the value chain. You do agri, you do logistics. Halal economy is supported. You can do off-grid, you can do Islamic fintech. Islamic fintech, I have a comma on it. However, and I will then explain, however, every FGN sukuk, and I think most of them, they are on NJS, so you can trade it even on your own. However, this is what I think is very important. At the foundation level, is the real economy we should invest in. Somebody comes, support, have a Islamic finance contract, sign, monitor the project as well. Ensure the person is not taking money from you and is diverting it to another thing. Islam is good, but Muslims are funny. So that's the way I will cap it. So that's very important. There's high barakah in it. Real economy has the highest barakah, and I said that's the highest barakah. Then, but the next one, the stabilizer, is the financial market. You put so when you then save your buffer, maybe in a year, 5,000 times 12 is 60,000. You can then take 30,000 out of it. based on the advice of a financial advisor, you then put it in stock. And I think our chairman has mentioned that they started with, so it's also one of the platforms. So when you put it there, on a daily basis, you can go to their app and check what your money has done, what growth has come to it. There was a brother of mine advised to do something about 4 months ago. So he then came to meet me and said, doctor, 5,000 income, she gained money in 100,000. And that's what I told him. I said, one of you have lost that money. One of you have left that money in the bank. And I said, okay. And that's about 2 weeks ago that we spoke. So, and that is like 5,000 in 100,000 is how many percent? Is 5%, yes. That's 5%. That's why I told you that it is low profit, but it is sustained. So it means you can say, if I commit 100,000, or maybe on a monthly basis, you are sure that your money is increasing in value. You are sure of that. So financial market, they are stabilizers. And if you do sukuk, Nigeria FDN sukuk, they pay you on a quarterly basis every 3 months. Money, because they will invest a share of his money in sukuk, a share in Sharia compliance. And I want to tell you this, why you have to do it in group. There are some funds that will tell you they are ethical. They will not give money to a firm that is doing haram. So you have to be careful. The group, it saves you. Then the last one, the protective canopy, is the real estate. Real estate is not affected by anything. And I can tell you for that. I know someone that bought a flat about 6 years ago at around 5 million. That flat today, that same flat, is now 17 million. He bought some of these Jack-on-Day flats. He bought it at 5 million. Today, as we are speaking this morning, I know if I ask real estate guys around again, they will have said maybe that value has increased. 17 million. Aside from improving the internal usage, the house, but the value has increased. So the protective canopy is real estate. And I'm serious, it's real estate. Then you have to guide it, the pitfall to avoid. Please, riba in disgust is what I've just explained to you now. Some firms are ethical, but then give their money to firms that are doing unethical things. So we have to be careful with this get rich quick syndrome and Ponzi. And I want to tell us today, any investment, like somebody that tells you, I'm doing agri, I'm doing real economy investment, and it's promising you 25%. Ask the person whether he's investing that treasury in money market, which is the goal I want to tell you about that this guy. So there are some business, 12 of them, and you ask yourself, is it only 12 exchanges that are on Nigerian stock exchange? No. Is the only one that are doing FMCG? No. There are some alert businesses that their treasury is investing their money in interest yielding instruments. So as a result of that, and from that interest yielding instrument, they merge it up. Now they won't separate it that this is our non-interest. No, they won't separate it. So if they are paying you even dividend, they capture that into it as well. So which we have to. So unverified alert app, I've mentioned this. I'm not sure. We just only have to ensure that verified alert app that has over concentration as well. Don't put your money in one venture. Just so the cooperative one, which is what I would advise them, is ensure your money is liquid. Please don't put all money into investment, please. Even if you don't, please ensure liquid, because you need to do some. Then you ensure that the economy is my suggestion. It's a suggestion 25 in financial market, but the ones that are stable, they are beating inflation, and then you ensure those that are giving you passive income as well. I need to say this, and which is a strategy a colleague told me. He said, anything, when that thing has done 25%, take out your principal. And I have to say it here as well. When you invest in any stock, those, whether it's in those 12 which I've mentioned, once that stock has done 25%, take out your principal. Leave. I'm not saying. So what you have done is you have saved your money, and you leave your interest to keep accruing. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So with that, you're able to safeguard your capital in case any shock. Then what is the roadmap? Number one, for the cooperative, and I think the chairman has told me in our private conversation, documents, that's what we should have, a charter, appoint a board, those are qualified, create the pool, which he told me he has done, launch called ASAN to people, report transparently, educate members, which I think you are doing now. I would like to say Jazakumullah Khair to the Dome management and board of trustees for doing this. I think from our conversation, on a personal level as well, Purify, I'm telling you, move from conventional banking to non-interest yielding banking. First time in my life I experienced something around this about close of last year. So my salary account, one interest. So I just took that interest and I sent it to an organization. So we then use it for something. And I told them that it's other called, it is based on this. I said, no, we can't do that. That I should put all that money back from their account because I'm the treasurer of that organization. I should put the old money off first. That's what I want to do. And the remaining, I should not let it stay in their account. I should just find somewhere and give it. And I said, oh my God, if I don't die is now, maybe I will not be bothering my head around this one. That's what happened. So when I tell you to purify, it's a serious thing. A 1 error in it could affect. Build buffer, just like I've said. Don't just invest your money. Start small. You can start small. Anybody that has started with 1,000 naira by January 1st on those stocks I've mentioned will have earned more than 8,000 today. Diversify, spread. Just be consistent. Be consistent is very, very, very important. What are those platforms that and funds? Lotus is the leading. You all know Lotus is the leading. That's fine. I think you can also do Quadrascape as well. Quadrascape as well. They are Sharia compliant fund for fixed income only, and they are investing in Sharia compliant. I can tell you this at a go. Gives you access to, they do US equities as well, among other things. The Stanbic IBTC, one of the leading, and you can see the fund there as well. So you have the AfriInvest Alert fund that was just done, I think, and you have CarryWise as well. When you get to CarryWise, one of the questions when you are signing up for, or even all of them, is they will ask you, what is your focus? Is it allowed compliant? And you put so that they ensure that you do this as well. Some conventional financial institutions as well also have capital, like Cardinal Stone, like UCAP, United Capital.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalamu
alaikum, sir. Please, I will want everybody to switch off their video. Please, switch off your video. Please, kindly switch up your video. Look if your video is on. Kindly switch it off.
So I think I've explained these more like the model portfolio allocations I've explained earlier on. So yeah, I'm more explicit around do sukuk, just do sukuk. And we also have some commercial papers, Sharia compliant, that will be out a lot this year, that will be built compliant. A lot that are Sharia compliant. So I think for us as Muslims, we have some imperative when we have our Akiro in view. And I think the chairman has explained it. First imperative is we reject riba, even if it is masquerade. We pursue barakah through honest income, gratitude, and trust. We put our idle fund to productivity. And none of us should have money in bank, just sitting there. Bank earn on our money that we put there. Utilize cooperative, that's the one. For shared risks and mutual uplift. It's very important. So groups like Dome, they are out there with you. For the theological anchor, we all know it. Everything is recorded. Every naira hand and spend will be questioned. It's part of the 5 questions we were told on the day of judgment. How did you earn? Allah earning is worship as well. You have to understand this. And you know worship is always progressive, consistent, and measured as well. So the same thing with earning as well. And patience is an investment. You have to know that. I've just told you somebody 5,000, and I know the money should have increased beyond that now. But it's patient. It's an investment. And we all know Allah will always provide for us. This verse is Allah Mokraja. That's what Allah said in that verses. And he said, I would expect. It is what I have. So Allah wealth building is just not financial defense. In this arch economy, it's a straight line connecting your worldly actions directly to Akhirah. I would like to say that I've used with us. I want to thank you for your patience. And if there's anything I've said that is good, that you love, they are inspired by Allah and the teachings of His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If there is anything that I've said, I've misjudged, I've misquoted, I've misrepresented anything, know that I say wa kullu qawla astaghfirullahi wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Professor Raji. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. We want to sincerely appreciate guest speakers today's presentation, Dr. Shakiruddin Taiwo. From what I can see on the platform, it's clear that we all appreciate the work that he has done. And we have all learned a lot. He has shown us that there are within our community people that are on to lead us in the direction in which we want to go, to support us as we are moving along that direction, and even to show us the direction in which to move in the future. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessing upon him. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will from him. He will bless all of his efforts in various ways. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will magnify his good deeds, overlook his faults, and reward him with the best of this world as well as Akhirah. I also want to sincerely appreciate all of us for and attending this attentively. You understand, listening attentively to his presentation. So I think the time has come for us to move into the question and answer session. Professor Raji. Okay, well, I'm going to invite her to continue leading this program. But for now, I think it's time for questions and answer. And if you have any question or questions, please read up. Okay. So, Dr. Ibrahim, Professor. Then after him, Professor Nasser. Limat Akande is the third person. So I think we'll take those three questions and then we'll move on. We will now ask for further questions after that. Dr. Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, the chairman. Firstly, I want to thank the lecturer sincerely. Lecture is recorded because it carries a lot of information that I believe not just us, but our children and our Muslim brothers and sisters will benefit from it. Particularly, I have benefited immensely lecture. Now, regarding the my questions. One, you talked about the mutual fund. I know Lotus started it in Nigeria and then they've done wonderfully well. Actually, I was also shocked by the performance of mutual fund as compared to the Kufuru system of equity, whatever. Now, my question, as an organization, are you suggesting that by your experience that we focus more on uh, investment on mutual fund rather than buying individual stock, considering the fact that in the last 6 months, the stocks generally have outperformed by world standard. I mean, the London Stock Exchange, I mean, the general stock market beat everything. So I want your suggestions on that. Number two is Sukuk. How do we assess Sukuk? I tried as much as possible, though. I mean, so how do we assess Sukuk, and can we access Sukuk at any time? So then you advise that we take out our principal once it's reached 25%. We take out our principal, and then you've told us how some fund performed more than 100%. If we take out our principal at 25%, where do we take it to? So then I observe the Seplat. Seplat is not considered. I looked at all the Muslim mutual fund, they've not invested in Seplat. Is there any problem? And do you suggest that we invest in Seplat? I saw some other organizations like FitSyn and Miambika. So please, what's your suggestions on this? Thank you very much.
Next is Professor Nasser.
Sorry, ma'am. I was thinking maybe because the question is more, maybe I can be taking it for the question now, so that I don't have to miss this. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim, for those questions. So first is, you should first is to set a context just elevated. It will be good that you look at those financial advisor that will sit you down, that you can have a one-on-one more in-depth discussion before you place your investment. So anything I tell you now would be based off of what I've said. Tomorrow things can change. Monday dynamics can change. That would distort this. I just need to bring this up. But you still need your financial advisor to tell you where to place your money, match with your investment plan. Are you short term? Are you mid term? Are you long term? I can tell you there are some stock today that the year-end price for them is like that. So if you then meet your financial advisors, he can tell you that this stock meets yours and is this and this and this. Do you understand, sir? So that will be able to help very well. Our equities that have done very well this time is based off of what people have seen with the impact of the reforms that the government has done on the macro level. There are three layers in the economy: the macro, the meso, and the micro. At the micro level, it's still biting us. But at the macro level, it's a green signal anywhere globally. So that is what is driving it. So when I say still get your financial advisor to how the market should behave. Lastly, why are people not investing in some stock? Lotus and the NJS, they are the ones screening these stock that are within. So what money market funds that are Sharia compliant, what they do is that those ones that are already screened, which is the 12 of them. If tomorrow Seplat should come into the group, they would invest. Seplat and Aradel, they are in the same oil and gas. And I know you say they are doing the same thing literally, but why? It depends, and it depends on what the market is saying. But it's just say in like FitSyn, in like all other stock that are doing real economic activities that are non-interest yielding, that they are producing goods, industrial. Please meet your financial advisor. That's what I would tell you as somebody working in that space. that meets your financial advisor. He will sit you down and picture before telling you to put your funds somewhere. And you have to get that if your money increases, your financial what's it called, investor will also earn more from that increase. I hope you know that. So that's why they will give you a whole bouquet of research that they have done on each of those products that is of interest, whether it is fixed income among others. You ask the question, and can you trade on FDN? Yes, you can trade on all FDN sukuk that are listed on NGX. Some are also listed on FMDQ. They have their price you can buy. It moves based on demand and supply. It's there already, so you can buy. App like platform I've suggested, Lotus, Quadroscape, Stanbic, all of them like that. When you check their distance, you will see it there. FGN, I still check this money is there. All of them will have all shares that are listed, and you have it, and you have it there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakir. Thank you, Dr. Bello, for the question. Professor Nasser.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. I want to join order to thank our brother, Dr. Shakir, for this very lucid presentation. It has been very, very helpful. We also deal with cooperative. You did discuss issue about logistics as part of where you advise in real economy. I just want you to share light. What do you mean precisely by this logistic? Same thing go to agro business. Do you mean farming? Cooperative, when you finance some of these investments, and we have issue with debt recovery. I just want your thoughts on how that we can recover debt. Because you know, when you invest in those things, it's not something that is actually easy to say, oh, what do you advise in debt recovery? And I also want to use the opportunity to say, because of what we have actually shared today, and the chairman already highlighted to that now we have brothers that we think can actually guide. I want to openly say we'll be inviting. I hope that you'll be able to actually accept some of this invitation to continue to educate us on some of this Islamic business. So that's some of my question, and that will request that this slide can be shared for reference. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir. Maybe on the last one, I think I've shared it with Ajia Adijat. I'm not sure if I'm right.
Professor Raji, yes, she will share it.
She's prof. I'm sorry. So that they don't take back my doctor.
No, she's a prof and she's Ajia too.
Okay, so I think that's also on logistics. So I want to give, and logistics and agro, I will make the two together. I would say at the moment, and I think I mentioned something, that Islam is a perfect religion and system, but it is we Muslims that have problem. You know, I mentioned it during my lecture. So that's more like telling us that.
Yes, you did.
Irrespective of that. So what I'm saying is, if you want to do agro, which I advise for cooperative, please, and to do that cultivation part is good, oh, is more profitable, that you can run your value chain from plantation, cultivation, movement, market. I know it's good, and I'm telling you, it's good. However, my experience is like the issue I've said. You have issue with people not being trustworthy. I have a friend. He did like, is it 5 acre? And because he's not staying there, staying in Lagos, he did it in Lalate. I'm also from Ibadan, so I can easily navigate Lalate, Shaki, Erua, around that. So, and my experience around now, it's only one distance that he gave. And that one that they gave, the man still took some money out of it, out of the process. So he was frustrated and said, he's not even doing it again. Later on, he told me that his uncle now built a house. I just started laughing. I said, don't worry, Afata. It's just, it will just go like that. Don't worry. That if it was for 3 or 4 years, I stopped running security in Okogun. Became very high. I have an agricultural marketing firm that I do. Shakiruddin Taiwo, and it's farm fresh. So I buy yam from my yam market. I buy yam for Kila market in Egbeda, Songo market in Shaki. That they are big markets. I don't buy yam in Iseyin. Iseyin yam is very expensive. That one that is along the road. I don't. I buy gari in Aguare. I buy gari in Irua. I buy pepper in what's the name of the very close to Ojo before it was demolished. My ball of bagby. Now the pepper is cheaper than the one you even buy in my shop. I tell them, any ever military sir.
Shasha market.
Shasha market. No,
before you go on, Professor Wahab, note orúkọ wọn tẹ́ bá lọ sí meeting pé wọn ò rántí orúkọ ọjà yẹn.
So like that, and I did it for 3-4 years, and I make profit. I make business. I make profit. So what did I do? Mola on even I did it to Oja, the yam market to Alaguare. Yam market kan wà. Bolo ti ma lọ ko oṣù yẹn. Airport Nova be mo ní kó mú mi lọ síbi Ọlọ́run lè mú mi wọnú ọjà àwọn but àwọn máa lọ máa bá mi rà ńbẹ̀. Nǹkan tí mo ṣe nìyẹn so kíni ẹ tó bá ti gbé jáde, even tó bá gbé jáde yẹn tó bá gbé dé kò, you make your profit. So what I'm now saying is, and I give an example. Mo rò bí Lagos people all want be by. For Lagos, for example, now, báàgì tá a máa fi ń di gàrí, ó yàtọ̀ sí báàgì tó fi máa ń di gàrí lóko. So báàgì tó fi máa ń di tí ọba ara méjì, price tí wọ́n ní àfihàn máa tà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹni yóò cheat anybody o. So is yam. Ọ̀fà kan iṣu is around, ẹ máa rí 20% of it lóko, tẹ́ bá rà látòkò ju tẹ́ bá rà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ. So that is just it. Èèyàn tó bá máa ṣe business yẹn, ó láti ní logistics. Mo ní boss tèmi fúnra ra mi. Tó bá ti kúrò níbi iṣẹ́ Friday.
Brother Shakiru, there are people who don't speak Yoruba.
Oh, so sorry, and I've gone much. So I'm so sorry. So what I've done in that space is to cut off the risk of post-harvest loss, to cut those a layer between even the middleman and the farmer itself. That layer has been established across all markets. So it is then very instructive that if you want to play in agrarian space, is that you meet the farmer yourself, you buy directly from what the farmer produces and you move to the market. When you then get to the market, are you selling off as wholesaler? You can then even stop at logistics of bringing those goods to the marketplace yourself. You make huge money from it as well, which is the logistics. There's an experience with somebody I have in Shasha market that the man told me he's just coming from Sokoto. He bought a basket of tomato. There's tomato Sokoto, and I know our mothers know it very well. Very, very strong, and it has a lot of water than the one we do down here, that we do in our own southwest. He said he bought a basket for 1,002. Then he came to the market, he was selling it for 8,500, 8,000. That one is still cheap. This year I'm speaking about. So it means, and what he has is only he has his stock. He came and he dropped and he slept off. And he said he has done. When we woke up in the morning, we now started chatting as well. So it means you can also make money from that value chain. However, if you want to do this, I know you all understand the dynamics of it as well. The driver have to, and the logistic manager have to be trustworthy. That's the only business. That's the only constraint in that in those two type of the agro-allied and the logistic. But either you're going to make a lot of profits. Either I'm going to make a lot of profit from my experience that I've done. That is useful. So sorry for those that are not Yoruba speaking audience. I said much around Yoruba that even in Southwest region, there are places you could buy agro-allied products at a very cheaper rate or price than what you get in the market in the urban area. So instead of even doing the farming yourself, I did it. I looked for rice up to New Busa in Niger State. I drove myself to New Busa in Niger State for rice. I buy rice from Kura in Kanu to Lagos. It's the logistics that made me stop buying rice. Because previously a bag is moved from Kanu to Lagos, 1,000 naira, 50 kg. Now they have just and I was making profit. Sometimes I'll sell at 30%, 40% of the price. And that my own is still even cheaper than somebody selling in front of me then that we're doing the business. So these are what I was saying. Food agro-allied is there. So that is the question. And then somebody asked that Islam, anything that is real economy in Nigeria today, even when we say demand is poor, they still are still making profits. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shakiruddin. What about logistic? He mentioned something about, Professor Nasir asked about logistic. Do you want to?
I think I've briefly said it. If you want to do logistic business, the most important factor is the driver and the logistic manager. Get a trustworthy person. I think every other thing is a good business. It's a good business. And because we are Muslims, I will say that it is our brothers from the logistic business. And it's because they are ruthless. Their driver knew he's not going to do any haki banky with the owner because he knows his route. But we as a Muslim, we are lenient. So if you have somebody that is trustworthy as a logistic manager and driver, I think we're going to make a lot of money from logistics. So you can, even if it is movement of agro-allied food from these places down to Lagos. So maybe I give an example. A container. The last time I asked Khalifa, so Khalifa is the person I connect with in Kano State that helps me because I can't go to Kano. So I think then so kg to Lagos, so that's 600,000. I think he said it's now around 2 point something million. So it means if I have a trailer that moves a goods from Lagos to Kano, it's not coming back empty. It's coming back with another around 2 point something million. So it moves the good down to where I have. It's not telling me the car has spoiled on the road. And they're going to, all these things. So I think we're going to have a good business there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Shakiruddin. Haja Limat Akode.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. I want to join others in thanking the presenter. It's been like I'm high opener, and I'm sure everybody has learned something from it. Before I go to my question, I just want to pick up something from his last remark. Me to the profits one coming, like you said, when in your own business, when you're giving your own personal example, that you get something for like maybe 1,000, you go as far as making a profit of 30-40% on it. Is there a limit Islamically as to the range one can, business? That's just an aside. Then to my questions now, we all know that in Nigeria and even abroad, most times we get our salary through the conventional banking system. How do we navigate this? Because I tell people that even if you want to do, they still go through the conventional bank. So how do we do this? How do we overcome this? That's my own personal well. Then the other thing is you were talking about getting financial advisors. How do we get this? How is there a platform one can log into where one can request for a financial advisor, or I don't know, how do we really go into getting a sincere, these days one has to be very careful. Is there like people you can recommend or organization you can recommend for us to get sincere, financial advisors? I also know that I've been trying to get into that Sukuk market, but I don't know, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. I never got around going into it. So I really appreciate if you can give us like a breakdown of how to invest Islamically. Then you mentioned, I think I listened to presentation sometimes ago, and they made mention of having an Islamic and how deposit platform or something like that. So I'm not like, if one wants to switch from maybe the conventional account with Stanbic into the halal, how about all the interest that one has accrued over the years from the conventional banking? How do we now, transit into Stanbic halal banking when we know that, I'm talking about myself now, I know that I've been with the conventional banking all this while and I've gotten interest from them. How do I separate? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma. First, a disclaimer. Two, I want to do two disclaimers. One, I'm not an Islamic scholar, so I will give based on my very shallow level of understanding on something. So it means I agree with it. So, secondly, at the moment, I work with a financial service firm, solid, one of the best in Nigeria. So if I want to tell you on this platform, that's the name I will give you. So as a result of that, then so when I mention, I will then mention others. I'll just mention a varieties of people you could meet and so first one on moving from a conventional to non-Islamic banking platform, and how would you be able to then calculate your those approval over time. So if it is not like a money market instrument that you are sure you could calculate your principal, they are sure I put in 1 million here, and the 1 million has now done to 1.2 million. You can forego the 1 point. It's clear. That one is clear. That 1 million is your own money. If it is not as easy as that, I think our din of it's a din of ease. It's a din of ease. It doesn't even want to bother us. No one to put us under strain. So what I will do is what I will say. It's not what you should do. What I will do is to sit down and say conventionally, I think 20% of this money is not my, and move the remaining, use that on do so that. I'm just saying me. That's what I would do. I won't bother myself to be too exact. I won't, because I know I can't do it, and it's going to give me a psychological trauma. That the money you are spending, it's my money now. So what I'm just saying that's what I will do. Sure, I move that my money from where it is now to where I think is safe. So that's what I will say. But a Stanbic worker will have been best to advise you on this. So that's what I can say, because I'm not working for Stanbic and I may not be sure that. Even fund our pension fund in Nigeria, we have fund 4. Is it fund 4 or 6? Fund 6, that is Islamic compliance. So they will move a proportion of your money. You can tell your PFAs to move it there, so that every fund that is in that place, they are investing it in Sharia compliant. So you can do that as well. That one you can do it on the app. So that's what you have said. So you mentioned something around, is there a fair profit in Islam? Is there a fair profit in Islam? Yes. Is there a range for it? No. For example, you get to I want to give this clear practical example, and I also do it. When I started selling yam, there's one of our mothers where I stayed. She has been selling yam decades. And what I said yam, I said gari, I said elubo, I said tomato when people order for it. and I said to her on large scale. But she sells yam. So when I came, I then met her to say, sorry, ma, Oja the main cheap, because she will be in Lagos and they will bring it for her. I'm not sure how she's selling. So when I started selling, and we are Muslims too, so I had to tell her clearly, Oja me ma, I will sell at. But me, I will still sell at what I want to sell. She was also selling what she wants to sell. So, but are you selling at a price that it will be harmful to people? So if my own yam, that size, they are selling it 2,000 in the market. And I won't say because of that, I'll then sell my yam at 1,100 naira. Because I will distort that market. And if I do it that way, I will kill other people's business as well. So what you can do, maybe sell at 1.5. And you can do a bargaining, so it shares. That's why I also do wholesale trade as well. I sell to some people that then sell forward as well. So if I do wholesale, it then reduces my profit. So they have taken a cut out of it. So, but in Islam, there is a fair profit. However, is there a mark to it? No, you can determine that yourself. And it's something pretty cheap, but you can't get home and then sell at that same pretty cheap when there is another business, or there are some businesses that bought at very expensive price. You will kill their business. So that is my understanding and understanding of that fair profits arrangement. I know these I've said, and I know it's open to our fathers to also add their own fair principle. Those advisors that could give you advice, I will start. You can contact Codros Capital. They can take you all through the breadth of the advice. Cardinal Stone, they will take you all through the breadth of the advice. You can contact Lotus. They will take you all through the breadth of the advice. And if you have their trading hub, this sukuk is there. This sukuk I've mentioned now is there. Or not these people have said in this sukuk they are there, that once you just put your money and buy it. But they will then do two things for you. They have a platform that which you can trade on to buy some of these instruments on your own. And even as Doom as an organization can also do it, they can also then advise you as well. So these organizations can actually help to close that gap. When, for example, there are some people, they are doing private placement at the moment. I think some of us mistakenly saw the price online, Abby, when the video showed us so they are doing it. So if your firm is one of those people, it means you are lucky. You can buy directly from direct placement of Dangote. So it's just like that. Some of these things, you have to go through a financial advisor that already has the license. And once you are on that platform, you have a relationship manager, a RM, that you can call. You see it on their app that this is your relationship manager that you can call at any time on either your placement or some other thing. So that is just it. So you can meet any of those I've said: Codros Capital, Lotus Capital, by 1,000. If you go to SEC website, you will see them there. Some are fund managers. You can do Auto Capital. Auto Capital is like Lotus Capital, is non-interest capital market specialist. You can do them. So you can do it like that. So you are free. Nobody is capping any. You can meet about that firm, financial advisory firm, before you actually place your trust in them. Thank you very much.
So, Assalamu alaikum. I think we're short of time. Professor Raji, are you here? Making arrangements for our annual general meeting, which is supposed to start by 10:30. So I will just allow.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I was driving and the phone wasn't really easily accessible, so I couldn't unmute myself earlier when the Q&A started.
No problem. It's my pleasure. So what I'm going to do, I have two hands up. Haja Usman Folorun Shah Hussaina and Dr. Engineer Abubakar Bello. So please kindly send your questions to me. You understand? Just send them to me. Speaker, and he will provide answers to them. Okay, so I'm so sorry. We have to proceed to the annual general meeting, which is supposed to start at 10:30 a.m. today. So, Professor Raji, if you are
Yes, sir.
you are available, you can. Thanks to.
All right, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. So we give thanks and praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to gather here today for the AGM. On behalf of the leadership and the entire membership of DOME CRIL, we want to express our sincere appreciation to our Taiwo Shakiru Babatunde for honoring our invitation and for delivering such a thoughtful, timely, and beneficial lecture on faith and finances, navigating riba and economic hardship for Baga and Ahera. I'm sure we have gained tremendously from his presentation. And I can see that even from the question and answer session, you could see that people don't. The time is fast spent and we'll have to call it a day. But we appreciate you so much, sir. We appreciate you and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps to reward you abundantly. And that he also helps us to benefit maximally from the lecture that he gave us today and navigate our faith and our finances properly so that it's going to serve as the puja for us on the day of Qiyamah. Jazakumullahu khairan once again. Thank you so much, sir. And to all of the people that attended the meeting, both the membership and also outsiders that came to join us today, we hope we have learned or gained one or two things from the lecture to have many more years of having a DOME AGM, and hope that next time we invite you for the AGM lecture, you honor our invitation. Thank you very much, everyone. For the members, the link for the AGM has been sent to the DOME platform. So please exit this link and then Thank you so much once again, everybody, and have a lovely rest of the weekend. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Please kindly send your email address and telephone numbers to the number shown in the chat, okay, for a link to the recorded lecture and for our record purpose. Please kindly send your and
maybe
so
they should include the name as well, sir. I'm sorry.
Yes, okay, thank you very much.
Your name, email address, and phone number.
Name, email, and
phone number.
Telephone number. Thank you.
You may be able to share the recording afterwards.
Yes, thank you very much.